And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening from right here in what has become a little bit of soggy Tomah, Wisconsin, but that's kind of the tradition here maybe is for us to have a little bit of rain occasionally over the course of our weekend stay here in the beautiful Dairyland. My name's Miles Krieger. It's an honor to be the host of the Countdown to Pull Time right here with our folks from Full Pull, and we certainly are excited. A lot of energy and excitement building for actual opportunity for you to visit Full Pull picks. We want you to go there and choose your top two in each of those classes for the opportunity to win some cash, and certainly an awesome endeavor that really launched at the beginning of 2023 that has now truly come to fruition right here this weekend in Tomah. So certainly, if you have not already done so, we encourage you to make your way there and put in your best choice for the top two competitors in each of our 5 classes pulling tonight. Sitting here to my left is Mr. Brian Guza, and obviously a gentleman who has kind of come on the scene very quickly here on the Grand National Circuit in the mini division. Brian, thanks for joining me. Thanks for obviously taking the time because you pull tonight and you've got to get some things ready to go, I'm sure.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Miles. Yeah, we got 7 o'clock pull time tonight, and we got some stuff ready, but we got to warm up, and hopefully the weather turns out well.
Yeah, so as I said, just a little bit damp out there right now, but it looks like kind of based off of the radar, we might be able to get things cleared up here and do some pulling a little bit later on. Let's talk a little bit, before we even get into pulling, I want you to talk about what you do as a professional person outside of the sport. I mean, obviously you're a professional puller, but what do you do to help offset some of the costs and get your vehicle up and down the road every day?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm a mechanical engineer by education. I work currently as a power generation engineer on plant projects. So working on projects from $100,000 to $10 million at power plants around Wisconsin. And so I just stepped into that role. I used to work at a nuclear power plant. So I'm changing roles a little bit, doing more project management stuff, but definitely good. Grew up on a farm. Dad still farms. He's got crops and beef, so that helps with the pulling as well.
Absolutely. So let's go back to 2023. I mean, obviously we're now back here, and then as a Wisconsin guy, you know, there are a lot of events that may sort of make the peak of the events that are on your bucket list, but clearly coming to Tomah and doing well is one that I think you have to have, and you did really well last year here.
Yeah, definitely. Did well the first hook Thursday night. We got a 4th, I think. And then Saturday we came in and just had one heck of a pass. Pulled off a first place, got my first Grand National win. Felt great. I grew up an hour from here. Been to this pull since I was probably couldn't even say one word. So it feels great to be kind of your own hometown pull and win it.
So you build off of that, and obviously as you work through the remainder of what was 2023's points race, you found yourself in the top 5. You made it to Bowling Green. You did a really nice job at Bowling Green as well. Let's talk about the remainder of the 2023 season and then kind of what brought you into the 2024 season and the invitation to come to the Mac trailer event in Louisville.
Yeah, there's a lot there. So Bowling Green, we got a 2nd place that Saturday night. I would say that's the most nervous I've ever been in my life, and I've done a lot of nerve-wracking things. So I had a good pass early on. Was way out there. I think I had 20 feet on the next guy, and it was 50 mini rods there maybe. Yeah. And we sat there, you know, for 10 mini rods, 20 mini rods, 30 mini rods, and Brian McDonald came out and put one heck of a pass on and won the $10,000. But it was great to be up in that caliber of tractors. You know, we came from the state, running state and region stuff, got in the Grand National Series just last couple of years, and we've been able to be successful. We got our tire game figured out last year, and that really helped us. Then you look at later in the season, we got invited to the Enderley Pull-Off. The track was a little bit tricky. Some people went out of bounds. Some people had some, you know, challenging rides, broke some stuff. So we laid down a nice pass, got 2nd place at Enderley. That made us feel good. We got that invite to the Mac Trailer Winter Nationals. First time ever pulling in Louisville. First time ever pulling indoors. That was an incredible experience. It was an honor. The Mike Connie family really take care of us down there at that pull, and it was great to get a 3rd place there at the Mac Trailer Winter Nationals. We made a good pass. The track was a little bit hard, and it was different, running only 240 feet.
Yes, sir.
Almost hitting the sand pile. Maybe I should have spun it in a little bit harder and could have got the big win there, but we had a good time.
Well, as you dig into that, I mean, let's go back to Bowling Green, and obviously, for folks that don't know, the last 3 years now, on Saturday night in Bowling Green, the Blue Shirts have put up an additional $10,000 to one class. They bring out this massive wheel. We spin that wheel. All 6 classes of competition are listed on the wheel. And all 3 years on Saturday night, the $10,000 class has been the mini division. So you come out and my goodness, you described it perfectly. You took this huge lead, and then you sit there, and you're $10,000 is nearly in your pocket. I mean, you've watched and you've dodged so many phenomenal competitors, but that's got to be a pretty neat thing to be in that hunt. And then you did the same thing again at Louisville. You took the lead, and you were on the edge for $10,000 again, and held the lead for a while before eventually having a couple guys go by you. So the nerves, the excitement, all at the same time.
When you lay down passes early down in the class, you're more. That's the most nervous I've been after I'm done pulling, because now you're waiting to see what anybody else can do. Yeah, it was definitely phenomenal. We had a great year. Hopefully I can lay down some passes like that this year as well.
Well, I want to talk to you as well about the new look of the tractor, and obviously you debuted that I think last weekend in Hutch, and kind of an all new look to your tractor. So let's talk about kind of what inspired that and what may have made you encouraged to do the change.
Yeah, so this year we put a new chassis on the tractor, so that came with new fenders. We had shiny aluminum at Benson, so we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do. Decided last year our tractor was a little bit too much black, so we went to a kind of a more gray look. Maybe we'll see. We're aging, so maybe it's going to go black, gray, then white, and then maybe it'll be bald. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, we changed it up a little bit. I think we like it looks a little bit fresher, maybe a little bit happier, cleaner. So I think it looks nice.
What would have inspired you, though? You think about going out there and doing so well last year and putting yourself in the top 5 of the points race. What inspired you to make a change with the frame and go ahead and do that? I mean, obviously, It seems like you were just starting to get things dialed in and get quite comfortable with the package that you bring forward, and then you make a change.
Yeah, I know. It was a challenging decision to make. We really wanted to jump up to the air ride front end, so if we ever go on a rough ride, we don't damage the frame, and we can basically keep it intact and have some smoother rides. Our teammate Chris Burnett, who pulls with us, he wanted to make a change. His original chassis is his cage sat kind of far back. He's a little bit bigger guy, so gave him the opportunity to get our old chassis, so he had a cage a little bit farther forward, move some weight forward. So I hope we don't regret going to the new chassis. It should be the same as the other chassis.
Yeah.
Should be, but they're never always the same.
No.
But hopefully it sets up Chris for good success this year.
Sure.
And hopefully we get this one figured out so we can be back where we were last year.
Let's go into 2024. Let's kind of recap for the folks. Obviously, come out of the box right at Benson, and then from Benson, a couple weekends off, and then you go to Hutch. Unfortunately, lost a session at Hutch to rain, but we're back here now at Toma with 3 hooks on your belt. So let's talk a little bit about where you're at, what you think, how you feel.
Yep. So we were at Benson. Never been to that track. It's the longest trip we ever taken with the toter and the tractor. So I think we were on the road 40 hours, and we were at the facility 44 hours. So that kind of gets you an idea for the kind of traveling we do. So we didn't really know what to expect of the track there. We did a good pass the first night. We got a 5th place. And the second night, we adjusted the drawbar a little bit, made some changes, and it kind of was in the wrong direction. So we struggled a little bit, got 11th that day. And we also had a little bit of a challenge at the starting line. There was some, I think the full pole thing said there was some whoops there, so there was a little bit of rough terrain, so I had to wait a little bit to get in the throttle, and that really, it was a different sled there than we usually pull on. We usually pull on the Bauer sled, and that was that other sled. So it kind of it didn't help us that we waited to get on the throttle. So, I mean, that was a learning experience for us. Then Hutchinson, we put some different tires on it, and maybe we didn't have it set up just quite right. I think we learned from our mistakes there, so Hutchinson got rained out. Hutchinson got rained out Saturday. We quickly ran down to Ettrick, Wisconsin to a WTPA state pull and pulled off a second there. Pyzik pulled off the win. We made some adjustments and those tires worked better there. So also my dad hooked it at Ellsworth at the region hook, got the win there. So we're doing well at the region state level, Grand National. We got some improvements to make, but there's only way you can go is up.
Well, I mean, you can look at the defending champion season thus far and realize that Adam's struggling and that he's got to make his way back up as well, and that just is a perfect illustration of the changes that occur. You can't sit still. You're always pushing the throttle, and you're always trying to get more and more. And Adam's done all those things, and obviously it's not worked out for him yet, but it will. But you've mentioned it a couple different times over the course of this conversation, and I think it's really become the most volatile aspect of this class is the tires. I want you to talk to me a little bit about what you're doing with your tire package and program, and kind of, there's been sort of two schools of thought. The new versions, the old tires, almost back to the old CPEC type version of tire. That's really where some were really gravitating, and then obviously trying to get comfortable with the new style.
Yeah, so the tire package is there's some secrets there, right? And maybe we don't want to share all of our secrets.
Absolutely.
But we're on a whole new tire package, so we're only using new tires. We got rid of our old tires. There's some competitors in our class that are willing to buy our old tires for premium, so we got rid of those. Got some new tires. We got some 24 tires this year. They're a little bit heavier. They got a little bit more rubber on them, so we got to clean them up a little bit. They were a little bit different diameter than the ones that we were running last year, so that's where the challenge was when we stepped up to Hutchinson, put new tires on. It just runs a little bit different with a little bit different diameter, a little bit different lug on it. So there is a lot of stuff you can do with the tires, and if you go look at mini rod tires, everyone's doing something a little bit different, and we all go down the track, and we all go similar distances. The big thing is we had our tires last year that worked the second half of the year. We had our tires that worked good. Now we have a new set that we're trying to get figured out, so we have a pair, 2 sets of tires.
Sure.
So it'll just take some time because every tire comes out of the mold a little bit different, and if you think it's the same, it's not the same.
No. And as the engineer that you are, I think there's probably some intrigue and interest and excitement in developing your plan and your strategy and putting all those pieces together. I mean, obviously for somebody that has a good understanding of the inner workings of how to make it work, that's got to be something that kind of catches your focus.
Yeah, it's exciting, and if I had an unlimited budget, there'd be some weird tires out there running. But I don't think I want to burn $2,000 to put a cut on a set of tires and then throw them away.
Sure.
So, there'd be definitely some opportunities to do some things. I've talked about just putting a one straight bar on each side, so all the dirt comes out the side, and there's no V. It's just on the outside. So I don't know. We'll see if anything ever comes out, but there's definitely some opportunities in the mini rod class to try something different.
Well, you're back here in the Dairyland, and obviously last year was a pretty awesome experience. Are there other events that sort of have stuck out in your mind over your pulling career that have kept you excited? I mean, obviously, first Grand National win, and the hunt at Bowling Green, and the hunt at Louisville. Those sorts of things are a paramount for people. But let's talk a little bit about just historically some of your favorite memories.
Well, it's always good. So my dad drives a tractor as well, so it's always good to see him do well. So at Rockwell a few years ago, he pulled off the win, so that was pretty. I was sitting at home with my family, and it was pretty proud moment as a son that my dad was able to pull the tractor and get the win. We did well in the region circuit for many years. I'm trying to think, it was 2019. 2021 maybe. We pulled off the region champion, so being able to compete with the state tractors and the region tractors in Wisconsin in this area are just incredible, and they can win any Grand National pull any day of the week. So to be able to pull off the region championship a couple times was definitely a big win in my book.
Well, Nathan Hoffman here has proven as well that regional level tractors that don't go out and run on the national level can certainly come to this event or a Grand National event and win pretty impressively. So obviously I'm going to have you talk one more topic, and we're going to talk about the celebratory drink that I got to enjoy with you last year, and kind of what has become a favorite beverage of mine to come find you guys in the pit area. And that's obviously something that's special to your team in terms of unique, and I don't really know even much about where it originated, so I'll let you explain.
Yeah, so we have a special drink called Schmuckety, and most of the announcers like it quite a bit.
Yes, sir.
Including Miles. So the special ingredients are black cherry Windsor, ice, Sundrop, which you can really only get in Wisconsin and kind of the Midwest, and then a little bit of love.
Absolutely.
And it's delicious, but it'll sneak up on you.
It will. There's no question about it, folks. But certainly, we want to encourage you again to make your way to Full Pull Picks. If you want to watch the live stream, there will be a live stream option for you this evening as well. A chance to have an opportunity to watch the pulling here at the Wisconsin Dairyland Nationals. This is Brian Guza, folks. He is going to be a competitor tonight. We're going to let him get back to the pit area, put his strategy together, get everything kind of worked out with the tractor, and he'll be out here again later this evening to run that mini and try to win again. We're going to take a very quick break, and we'll be right back here with more of the Countdown to Pull Time.
Good evening. Welcome back to Full Pull Live. I am Darren Hartwell here with two-time Grand National champion Robbie Lamy. Robbie, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me.
So, Robbie, we just talked about the two championships. You are the winningest driver here in Tomah with 7 wins in the Pro Stock division. What does that mean to win here in Tomah, Wisconsin, to you?
Oh, it's always been a dream. It was my favorite pull when I was a kid. I always wanted to be here. We pulled in 1994. My dad drove up here, and so we've been here 30 years. And 2000 was our first Grand National win. It was up here. It was amazing.
So your first Grand National win, you guys are from Helenville here in Wisconsin. How far is that from here?
Oh, it's about 2.5 hours.
Okay. So we talk about trying to, win at home and that being the hardest place to win in pulling. What did that feel like to get your first Grand National win here in Tomah?
Oh, it was truly amazing. I mean, we worked hard. We didn't have the money to run with a lot of them big guys, and all of a sudden we started getting better and better, making our own parts. And I think there was 47 or 49 tractors that night, and we were the only full pull, and it was, honestly, I'll never forget it.
So you said 49 or 47 tractors. Where did you hook in the class?
I think I was pretty much in the middle. I know Don Masterson got second. That I do remember.
Okay.
And maybe Mike Linder. I'm not exactly sure. But
the Linder brothers, yes.
This was back in 2000, so that's going back a ways.
Yeah. Not that long ago, Robbie. Not that long ago. So you talked about making your own parts, and you guys, Lemke Manufacturing, Lemke Machine, is a sponsor here at the Wisconsin Dairyland Super Nationals in Tomah. How did that come about?
Dave Keel and he asked me, he goes, hey, you want to sponsor something? And this was a couple years. I think we've already been a sponsor probably for 5 years maybe already. And it just makes me happy to be part of this group. And I love this tractor pull. It's our favorite tractor pull all around, So
Right.
We just want to be part of it and just be part of history.
Yeah, it's great to see, you look up at the grandstand and you see that big Tomah graphic and then the Lemke name right next to it. It is pretty cool, I have to say.
Yeah, the Budweiser thing. I always wanted it to be Lemke Motorsports Dairyland Grand Nationals, but
yeah,
that'll probably cost too much.
Yeah, it sounds like S&S is pretty entrenched. It last night at the Puller banquet or Puller meal before the pull, they talked about how one of the people from S&S and Dave Schreier were very close friends, and S&S has been here since the beginning. So
yeah, and then like Bill Dagenhart, I think he's a big part of that too. They sponsor his tractor, and
it's
a pretty close knit group. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
everybody helps each other out and wants to be part of it.
Right, that's the thing about tractor pulling and here in Tomah, people work together. They want to be involved and they want to help each other out and make this event and every event very successful.
Exactly. I mean, it's like in Wisconsin, it's like your favorite tractor pull. When you were growing up as a kid, you always wanted to go to Tomah. You always wanted to pull at Tomah.
Yes.
It just, now we do it and it's like, holy mackerel. It's awesome.
Yes. And 3 generations pulling here in Tomah.
Yep. My dad started it back in the 70s and myself, and then now my son drives, and it's just fun. I mean, that's why we do it. It's probably the most, you do good, you talk about it, you know what I mean? You sit there on the way home and it's like, man, we did really good, or we did really crappy,
Yeah.
And lately it's been bad. We've been struggling a little bit, but we're trying to get our ducks in a row and turn it around.
So for Lemke Motorsports, it's been a good start to the year. Tell us about what you guys do at Lemke Motorsports from the building and manufacturing side.
We manufacture just pretty much every part. We make an engine block now, a billet block that's approved by the NTPA and PPL and things like that. We start out with a chunk of material that's 4,000 pounds, and we machine it. It takes about 250 hours, and it ends up being about 720 pounds without the main caps.
Wow.
So it's a lot of chips, but I think we've built 21 of them so far.
Nice.
So we got about 15 or 16 out and about right now. We're still finishing up little ends and stuff like that. But yeah, we manufacture our own rods and pistons, sleeves, and heads, and we've done, 300-400 cylinder heads already. I'm not even sure how many.
Wow.
So they go from super stock to hot farm, and we recast like Massey Ferguson, like Carlton Cope, and we've made a lot of them for the Light Pro that he runs and things like that. So.
Okay, great. So how many people are involved at Lemke Motorsports on the manufacturing side?
I have 11 employees. We have 2 in the office and the rest out in the shop, and myself and Troy Schradel, he does most of the building, me and him.
Okay.
Assembling, stuff like that. And
Okay.
then, like my cousin Jeff, he's like the main programmer, and I draw it up and he makes it. And
Nice.
there's
Nice.
days he goes, "Really? We're gonna do this?" And I said, "We gotta." So
Yeah, that's great. So, now you guys are known for your small blocks, and a lot of the competitors in the pro stock class run big blocks. So tell us a little bit about the difference with the small block and the big block. And, you know, I know there's some differences in horsepower and torque that are kind of interesting between that small block and big block.
yeah, big block is a 6-inch bore space motor, where a small block John Deere is 5 3/8, and like an International engine is 5 350. So the small block John Deere and the International are pretty close. The biggest thing is the crankshaft and the stroke. We feel you get a little more torque with a longer crank and the bore we run and things like that. But I mean, it's way easier building a big block to make performance and longevity. But we like to do things the hard way, so we're staying with the small block. Not sure why some days, but we feel it's a good package. And with our blocks, we really haven't had a lot of trouble. I mean, breaking some pistons and things like that, but that's just the nature of the horsepower we're trying to develop.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting because, you know, it seems counterintuitive that a small block actually makes more torque than a big block. You know, it just seems more, it just seems opposite of what you're normally taught and what you normally see.
Exactly. I mean, the cubic inch is the same, and they're 680. That's the rule now. So, but most people run a 4 or a 5 1/8 inch bore. We run a 5-inch bore with a longer crankshaft. So I mean, it just helps on your bottom end. You know, I don't know if it's any better, to be honest with you. You know, the way the sport's progressing and the technology and turbochargers, who knows? I mean, it's a lot easier because of the bore spacing. You got just so much more material with the sleeves and things like that.
Right.
But we like to go fight uphill, so we keep doing it that way. But
Well, and you guys are at the cutting edge, you know, making all those performance parts in your shop. You know, that's really cool that you can make the components, you can build a complete engine and supply that service to your customers. Now, you did talk about, do you support all brands then?
yes, we do international. I make a billet international block, which like Tim Kane, John Link, and them guys are currently running. Then we do the small block John Deere program too.
Okay, great. And you talked about you're doing some Massey stuff as well, right?
Yeah, we manufacture a lot of cylinder heads for even just a lot of builders out there. We manufacture parts for, like Joe Bush Ag Repair. He's a good big customer of ours, and Kent Payne. I do a lot of stuff for him, and we do cylinder heads for hot farms all the way up to super stocks.
That's great. That's great. So you had some exciting guests yesterday at your shop in Hallenville. Discover Wisconsin crew was there. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, they're doing a thing for Toma for the 50th coming up, and they wanted Chris Schreier and Dave Keel kind of thought that'd be cool if Lemke would do it, because we've been here 30 years, pulling 3 generations, and just kind of a down the road farm kid. And so it was fun. It was actually pretty neat. I was a little nervous about it at first, not to lie, but it was actually pretty cool. And my dad, you know, it was great to see him talk about history and tractor pulling, and it was pretty amazing. Honestly, it made my heart pretty happy seeing him smile and do what he did. So
Yeah. So you guys, as a family, have won 2 Grand National titles through the years. What years were those?
2007 and 2014, and then we were runner-up 4 times. So we were pretty sad about the runner-ups, but
Yeah. But I mean,
That happens.
to climb to the top of the mountain, you know, that has to feel good.
oh yeah, it does. I mean, I used to always outwork a lot of them guys, but now they're doing a good job. And I used to beat them on how hard we work, but now we can't do that anymore. So we got to progress and try to be smarter and better. And there's a lot of good tractor pullers out there, especially in our class. It's just Simons and the guys they're just tough.
Yeah. The pro stock division. I mean, there are no lightweights in that division. Anybody who runs it at the national level is at the top of your game. I mean, you have to be in order to be anywhere near competitive.
Exactly. It's just gotten very competitive. You go back 20, 30 years ago when we first started, I mean, you were content on, I'm maybe not going to win, but I'll be in the top few. And, you know, now everybody's just, it's pretty cutthroat. And
Yeah. Yes,
technology's changed it. You know, that's the problem. It just, everything's gotten better. We're making so much horsepower. I mean, over 5,000 horsepower and 6,000 foot-pounds of torque. It's just
Wow.
still with the same 24.5 tire, and stuff. It's just crazy.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Robbie. What are some of the major changes from when you guys got your first win here in Toma 30 years ago to today? I mean, chassis-wise.
Back then it was you had an egg chassis and, you know, more like a 4-1 or a Super Farm or one of them tractors. Now we're true component. Back in 2007, the first year we won, that was our first component we built.
Okay.
Joe Eder built us frame rails and rear end, and we built the rest of it. And we went out and won the first 3 hooks of the year, and we've only won like 2 Grand National wins ever, and we did 3 in a row. It was like, holy cow, we actually know what we're doing.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, that definitely helps. That's great.
It was really lucky, you know. But we had a good year that year, and
yes,
and in 14 and 15 we had amazing years too, and so won a lot of hooks, and I think we had 8 wins in a row at one time, and it was pretty exciting, you know.
That's awesome. So I guess we were talking about your tractor, and we've made it this far and haven't even said the name.
Yeah, it's New Generation Plus. It's based off the John Deere 4010 was the new generation of power, and we really were trying to think of a good name, and we came up with that. And it's kind of simple, but that's, I guess, how we are. So.
No, you're definitely not simple, Robbie. You guys are on the cutting edge in this motorsport. So has the name and the sheet metal, has it been pretty much the same since you guys started?
Yep, it always has been that, and it's always been, we call it a 40-10, but it's actually 60-30-10 work, but it's a 20 series.
Yeah.
You couldn't stuff all that stuff in that little tractor anymore.
No, but it's a beautiful tractor. So who else do you want to thank for helping you get to this level and, you know, stay competitive at this level?
Jim and Steve at Weimer Fuel. I mean, they're good friends of mine, and we help them a lot, and they help me so much. I mean, it's just, I wouldn't do this without them guys, and just all the guys at the shop. I mean, I put them through a lot of paces. I said, we got to get this done, and, you know, we got 40-50 customers that we build engines for, and it just, this time of year it's tough. You know, I had 4 tractors at the shop today trying to get ready for this event, and you're like, oh, thank God this one's over, you know.
Yes.
And that's what I wanted, you know. I said, I always wanted to be this big guy in engine build, and now you're like, holy crap, this is kind of BS, but I enjoy it. I enjoy the people, the customers, and some of my best friends are tractor pullers.
Yes, absolutely. That's the cool part about what we do, is the camaraderie, the family atmosphere of it. So what does it mean to be able to run your business and pull with 3 generations in your family? How does that feel for you?
It's pretty special. I mean, it's just, me and my dad, we've always bounced ideas off each other, and, you know, now we're down, you know, now it's my son's involved, and it's cool. You know what I mean? It's pretty special. You know, he started something from nothing, and I remember Kenny Mack that one year I got interviewed up here, and he goes, Miles was talking to him, and he goes, what do you know about him? Well, he started from nothing, you know, and he evolved to this, and, you know, it was just kind of cool. Yeah. But we've been doing it for so long, you know, it's just part of life.
Yes. So this weekend, close to home, kind of a hometown pull. You've won it 7 times. You bringing is a lot of the family coming up this weekend?
Oh yeah, yep. It's kind of my daughter's playing some softball, so they're going to miss a little bit, but yeah, it's kind of part of the whole family, and it's just the first big Grand National pull of the year, and everybody gets excited about it. All NTP's classes are here, so, you know, it's just kind of fun to sit down and watch some tractor pulling and enjoy, you know, people's company. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. Toma, it kind of feels like a family reunion in a way, because, like you say, everybody's here. This is the first time of the year that everybody is here in one spot.
Exactly.
I mean, this year it's been great because I think every class has had at least 1 or 2, you know, depending on rainouts, hook already this season before coming into Toma, where some years Toma is the first hook for some classes. But this year it's been great, but it's great to have everybody in one spot.
Exactly. You talk with these people out throughout the year, and, you know, and all of a sudden you get to put a name with a face. Sometimes you don't.
Yes.
You know, some people you just meet during the winter. You know what I mean? And now you get to talk to them, and it's a good time.
Yes. Once again, I'd like to thank Robbie Lemke, Lemke Motorsports, the New Generation Plus, for coming on with us. He is one of the sponsors here at the Budweiser Dairyland Super Nationals here in Toma, Wisconsin. Check out fullpullpicks.com. Live wagering, real money, real wagers. Go tonight. Full Pull Live. We are going to go live with the Toma Pull at 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern. It'll be a big show, 5 big classes, 4 Grand National classes, and 1 region class. And it's going to be an exciting weekend, an exciting kickoff to the Budweiser Dairyland Super Nationals here in Tomah, Wisconsin.